What's up, everybody? This is going to be maybe like a part two. Who am I? So there is a gentleman who actually thinks he knows me, and he posted that, and he's going through his guitar player magazines. Very, very smart. Look up articles on Rob Shores. Anyway, so I figured it like this. Where's my camera? I'm watching stuff here, but what's the best way to show? Let me start off with why I left YouTube a long time ago and what's been going on with me. So let me show you. Now this is a little, not graphic, but this is a video on me and only me. I woke up this morning getting ready to do a band rehearsal, and I was up very late last night, so let me see if I can find this for you quick. Yes, I know I've come on here unprepared, and it's only because I saw a comment where he's going through old guitar player magazines. Very, very smart. But I'm going to give him a couple hints in this video. And by the way, I'm going on Rudy Sarzo's podcast soon. He's out in LA. They're dealing with the wildfires. Oh, wait a second. Is this an old track? Someone's calling. My dad. What's up, big boy?
Hey, bud. I've been looking at my coin book.
Yeah.
And you said that Tristan has a whole jar full of pennies.
Yeah, he's collecting coins now.
Yeah, well, there are pennies in 1982, 95, 64, 76.
Hey, Dad. So I'm shooting a video, and since you're talking, and I'll call you back on that. But what did you think about me and the guitar and that rock and roll life and that whole thing? Without going into detail, a lot of people know my mistakes and my faults about drugs and alcohol and women. But as a father, did you enjoy the fact that like the shows and me playing? Did you like what was your?
I thought that it was great when I seen you perform and stuff, and the bands and stuff that you had. The problem is you didn't have steadfast people that were committed to doing.
Loyal
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
So they threw you under the bus whenever they could to gain whatever they needed.
Yeah.
All right. Let me call you back
Does
about
that
the.
make sense?
Yeah, but let me call you back because it was funny because I'm doing a video on me for my channel and some of that involved what you just said. So it's funny that you just called on the things that I was gonna just say. But let me call you back because I got band rehearsal and everything. All right. All right. Bye. Love you. And actually, let me turn on the airplane mode. Sorry about the interruption, but there you go. From the horse's mouth, unplanned. What are the chances of God intervening like that? My life, and I'm trying to tell you about my life, and then I get to ask my dad that question live on the video. That's insane. It really is. And he was calling about coins for my son. Unbelievable. You see, when you do good things for good people, somehow it always comes to light. It does, I swear. But I'm going to show you guys why I actually left. That kind of messed me up. Forgot what I was doing. Let's see. Where are those pictures? Oh, here it is. So I'm going to go from backwards to forwards. This is me. See that scar? Not very nice. I went through 3 of those surgeries. Tumors, cancer, the whole 9 yards. But am I bitter? No. So going back into why I did this, not the channel, not everything, was to help people. So I thought, why not help people and share a little bit of my story, my personal story that a lot of people, only my close, I even have friends that don't even know I have the surgeries. They're like, what happened to you? Where'd you go? It's personal. Even on my Facebook, there's no politics, there's no religion, there's nothing on there with the band stuff. Nothing. I don't post Throwback Thursday, and I don't do none of that. I don't care. Why? I am humbled by God and what's happened to me. When you go through those kind of surgeries and that kind of life, no. So, what drove me to do music? Well, first of all, my first show was watching the masterful Joe Perry. My cousin took me. Came out high as a kite at 10 years old. Hollywood Sportatorium. The second show was my dad took me to see Kiss in the 70s. The original Kiss. And that's a funny story because I got to take my son to his first concert, which was Kiss. And I watched him stand on the chair holding on to me. It was beautiful. It was like I was reliving my whole life all over again through my son. This is what's great about life and why I humble. I don't care about the Lord's. I care about that moment in time. That means more to me than anything that I own, period, or worked for. So, let's go through some pictures because they're worth 1,000 words. See there? That's me there. Live show. That's me there at a live show. And if you look underneath right there, whoops, that's the Hughes and Kendra core blade. Oh, look at the calves. Crank. Crank. Look at this thing. Oh, that's better. Crank. See the crank calves? And I told you he's the love running up on the shows. That's the cover band. Big, big bar. Huge. Maybe, I don't even know how much, how big is an arena? How many square foot? I don't know. Some of the people I know, Brett Scallions, he married, Saigon Kick had a keyboard player named Robbie Jeanette, who actually ended up doing some keyboard work for Brett in Fuel. And Abby, his little sister, God bless her soul, ended up marrying Brett. Small world around here. You know, it's just how it goes. Mr. Robert Sarzo, Rudy Sarzo's brother, and if any of you've seen the other videos, I have the Quiet Riot. So Frankie Benelli and me went to school together. Mr. Benelli, Frankie Benelli from Quiet Riot. His dad and family are amazing. So into my world of music, as a part of that, I also got to play with a lot of great bands. Thankfully from my earlier career, but also because of people like him. You know, Rat, worked toward whatever. I've done things with Rat, Quiet Riot, all the way to Steelheart to, I don't know, George Lynch, Great White, all kinds of bands. But it's the era that like a country session guy would not know, or he wouldn't know any of those people. Like Mark Kendall from Great White, his son lives here near me. Now you understand the connection. And Brett Carlisle, the singer, the young kid, his manager Eric is friends with my drummer, and I became friends with Brett through Brian. It's just a small world. Like the singer that everybody posted in the Down Dirty Boys video, which I go watch. It's a great sounding video. Now we're playing in a bar, and that is a cover band. But what you don't know about is that singer Richie Cross. He has a band, Not Fragile, and he's done work with Vince Neil and a lot of other people. So, and my buddy Tim, who played with Slaughter, and I'll show you him, he's played with Skid Row and Slaughter, along with Phil Verone, who played with Skid Row from Saigon Kick, and George Lynch. Small world again. And Oni Logan from Diamond Rose from Fort Lauderdale. Small world, ended up in George Lynch. And Ray West from Defiance ended up in Spread Eagle, who ended up with George Lynch. It's a cesspool of musicians here. There's me and Shinedown. So if anybody wanted to know, they could have called Rick Beato. He produced them. Here's one of my, again, pictures are worth 1,000 words, aren't they? I don't know if any of you guys, because you're guitar players probably, you You know who that drummer is right there? That's the Hard Rock Cafe. Now he doesn't like play in the Hard Rock Cafe. We were asked to do a private show. That is Mr. Vinnie Paul that I get to jam with. Vinnie Paul. His brother was one of my heroes. Let me see if I can show you back in here. That was a while ago. Let me see. That's me up on stage, and that band was called Hell Yeah. But you can see that's a gold top, 60s gold top, I think it was. Sold that. The pickups in there suck. They did. Shot from my phone. That was my last show. So a gentleman says, I think I know who you are. And he says, I won't post your ID because of your kid. And I think he knows too. So anybody that wants to see what I used to look like. Sexy. I'm too sexy for guitar. Too sexy for guitar. Bye bye. A lot of you people probably like he's crazy. That's why if you saw me on stage, if you ever saw me on stage, you would know me. I was spinning guitars, jumping off of the PAs. Richie's crazy too. He wasn't in my band, but we did stuff. Let's see. I don't want to cut out everybody in there. You can see people in the background, like over in here, watching me. That's a little show called the Grammys in the back. I was just sweeping up, because I'm a cover guy. And I just told you about Slaughter. This was on my personal Facebook, so I blocked some of it out. That's me with Gary Orman, who was the tour manager, one of my best friends. And he's best friends with Blando from Slaughter. And that is Tim from Slaughter and Skid Row, who's now technically in a cover band called Completely Unchanged. They are one of the best Van Halen tribute bands you'll ever see. And Gene's freaking awesome too. But Tim's an awesome, awesome guy. Awesome, awesome dude. And the guy that you just heard, my dad backstage. You heard it from my father. He called in right while I was doing this video. What are the chances of that? That's insane. It was me being stupid. And what changed my life. Let's see. What's some more? Collecting Soul. Trying to explain to me in the studio. So we ended up, I didn't record with them. Their first album was in Criteria Studios in Miami. I think I was on my third record. So in the real big studios, they have swimming pools, they have basketball courts, they have arcades. So we used to, when you're in there, not for a day or two, you would be in there, you would live there for 6 months, a year, and that's what they did. And my buddy Mark, he did sound at New River Studios. He's the one with his wife works for Nile Rodgers. But again, it's a small world. Next time I go to dinner or lunch with them, I'll be sure to take some pictures. That's me and the guitar player from Collective Soul. They don't want pictures like that because it makes them look goofy. But I'm just showing you personal. And here's what I'm doing today. So I am going to do a thing on sound as well on the video, so you can see there's the room and the board. So what I do is I end up going and I set up, but I didn't know how to get the pictures onto like the comment or move the videos around. So I am going to do a sound video. So my story, how did I get started into the industry? What drove me? What was my passion? It's not a good story. My parents got divorced, and I ended up with my mother, and I didn't talk to my father for a couple years. Wasn't even invited to his wedding. None of us were, and I lived without electricity for about a year in Florida, and you guys know how hot it gets here. You'll know. I took showers, cold showers every day, did homework by candlelight or in the backyard before dark. I ate sandwiches because the refrigerator didn't work. I was basically homeless with walls around me with a key because we did pay the rent. we had a dog, Cashmere was his name, named after Zeppelin. But the dog would have fleas. He was a Samoan. And here in summertime in Florida, it gets so hot, the fleas would multiply. So when you would sleep at night, you would get bit hundreds of times by fleas. So this was my driving force, not to be famous, but I swore I would never be broke again. Never be broke. But that's also why I stayed humble and private. But I'm sharing this story to all you people because I know there's people less fortunate out there, and to talk about 59s and to talk about everything I got in the house, that is not me, and I'm very sorry for that, because I know a lot of people have a hard time in this world right now, and from the bottom of my heart, I apologize for all that. That is not me. Somebody recognized me, and now somebody's probably going to go, I've gotten the Bill Murray comments, I've gotten this comment, and the XYZ comment, which is a very good guess. Very good guess. But I've done work with Terry from XYZ, and Patrick Domkowski, that's my doctor. So again, picture's worth 1,000 words, so we just talked about that. So let me see if I can show you. You could see Patrick Malmsteen, hey, call me, blah, blah, blah. And if you look down right there, Robert Sarzo. Amazing how you can just show a picture and it's worth 1,000 words. Because I don't have to verify it. Physically, I gotta show you or put a video. But it's all there. I mean, but to be an ignorant, pompous jerk is not me. I'm just here to teach. And I might throw in like negative motion, which is actually negative harmony that works in with parallel and contrary motion, and there's a bunch of different motions. Now, one gentleman said there's no such thing as negative motion. Anyone on here, whatever you hear, Google it in, and you'll see that they're a little not telling the whole truth. So again, this video ain't about all those people. This is a video to help other people, just like the lessons. You know, like people commenting, oh, I saw the lick in the lesson, the scales thing, and I've talked about keeping it simple, and they want me, oh, that wasn't so good. It's not meant to be incredibly good or like on a track or pre-recorded. That's all on the fly. I don't do anything. Everything is on the fly, just like you saw my father go. It's all on the fly. That's how I roll, because you know, I don't want to keep doing videos and edit them or this and that and make it look like I'm some guitar god. I'm not. I'm a person. I go out and eat, go to the bathroom, take a shower. I stink at times. We're all people. So that was the driving force. And I said, that'll never, ever happen to me again. Then I was touring and doing all this other stuff with bands like Expose, Beyonce, and believe me, I could have easily just. Here's what I'll say about this whole Tom thing. He could have been a nice guy, asked me to come on his show, and I would have answered any question he wanted. I would have brought the guitars. I don't care, because the problem with the guitars is this. You have to have an appraiser to insure them. You can't keep the paperwork with the guitar. He knows a lot of this, but he's not going to tell you because he's interested in making somebody look bad. But he doesn't have the comprehension that niceness would have got him a lot further. Well, you pissed me off. And again, I don't want to talk about this because this ain't about him. But in reality, in real life, if you want to get information from people, including me, you kill them with kindness. It works. So I'm going on Robert Sarzo's podcast on YouTube, and probably the next few months, he's in LA, they're dealing with the fires, and he's going to ask me about my whole career. Funny how that works. Now it's his show. They'd have to sue him for the content, and there are a few things that he's going to have to get permission for. So when you do an interview or something like that, or go on a podcast, there's some things that you can ask and some things that you can't. We will work that all out. But like in here, I just told you some of the bands I've worked for, or worked with, or done things for. You know, it's like George Lynch. I hadn't seen him in a while, and Eric and them had to rent stuff. I said, dude, next time George comes here and he wants gear, we got a warehouse full of gear. He can go in there and pick whatever he wants, the plexi heads, whatever he wants. Don't rent it. I said, you guys are friends of mine. Don't rent your stuff when you come here. And again, that gear is insured in a warehouse, and it's under a corporation. That way you don't pay certain kinds of taxes, and you can write some of it off. Rental company. Why do you think all these companies like Hertz Rent a Car and Enterprise, why do you think they buy cars around them? They don't pay for those cars. They make money off those cars, and then they sell them after X amount of miles, because there's some kind of law with the mileage and stuff. But that's here neither near or there, but that's just business 101 kind of stuff. But I just wanted you guys to share a little bit of the story. Now, like the Kiss thing, that's personal to me. It's no one's business. But I was reliving my life through that, and I thought, you know what? The other night he said, Daddy, I don't know, can you come sleep with me? So I went. Then we woke up Friday, yesterday, went to school, and no one was there. He was like, what? I go, they must have added a planning day or something. And he, Daddy, did you ever do that? And am I gonna lie to my kid and go, no, son, we should be more responsible and check. No, I told him the time that I rode to school on a Sunday morning, thinking it was Monday, on my bicycle. Locked my bike up, knocking on the doors. My aunt was coming back from a Denny's thing back when I was a kid. Put my bike, and then the next morning she said, you rode to, where were you going? I go, what do you mean? I was like, sleepwalking, rode my bike probably a mile to school, came back and went back to bed. Stories. I've also been hit by a drunk driver and put in to the hospital. So don't think I'm this untouchable guy or unapproachable. I'm a very humble guy, and I always say, without you guys, see, guitar value is only worth it by who puts that up there. My life value is only good to me. So why people are obsessed with it and everything else, I don't know. I really don't know. Matter of fact, you can go through the VH1 interviews, Where Are They Now, and probably find a video of me. Another hint. So there are the photos. They're worth more than 1,000 words. Let me get ready for practice. I'm still setting up. And I'm going to do a video on sound. Somebody asked me to do a video sound, and I'm going to keep that promise. Peace.